Hello, this is Alex. This channel focuses on talking about things that I'm interested in and things that I can give advice on. Today I want to talk about my system of regular short breaks that has helped me succeed throughout high school, while still getting 8 hours of sleep every day and enjoying YouTube and TikTok every day. And before you ask, yes, you can have academic success while still not needing to spend your whole life in a book. There are two key things I'm going to discuss in this video. Number one will be my system of regular short breaks. And number two, I will talk about monotasking and how you can combine that with my system of regular short breaks to get the most done throughout the day. These two things have allowed me to be more efficient while not feeling like crap every day. So let's discuss my system of breaks. To start off, I want to add a little context. The first thing you should know is that in high school, I did a lot of extracurriculars and schoolwork that put me on track to get into Stanford while needing to work at my parents' restaurant and grocery store. Naturally, my classmates didn't understand how I could get all my work done and still show up for meetings every day. And to be honest, I don't know how I did it at the beginning. For example, let's talk about me in the 9th grade. My schedule looked something like this. I would wake up, go to school, come home, procrastinate, do some homework, and then get very little sleep. Actually, now that I say it out loud, that sounds like every high schooler ever. Anyways, after the school week, my weekends were then spent at the family businesses, making a bad system even worse. Now, after 2 weeks of this in the 9th grade, I turned it all around with today's sponsor. I'm just kidding. I eventually followed this system all the way through halfway through sophomore year, when I finally grew tired of feeling dead all the time. I mean, just look at me in the 10th grade. That man wanted to die. Now, enough context. Let's talk about the changes I made to my system. The most important thing I implemented was regular short breaks for my schoolwork. For example, I would constantly get stressed trying to read an 8-push chapter or trying to get my work done. And instead of brute forcing my way through the work, I would take regular short breaks instead. And these breaks can be very long or short. It depends on the amount of work you have and the specific day. In my case, I have two types of breaks. One 30-minute break that I do about 2 to 3 times a day, and then a 5 to 7 minute break that I do several times scattered throughout the day. That may sound like a lot, but it's a time that I need to distract myself from school and work. I recommend that you choose something that'll get you moving for most breaks, so video games don't count, and YouTube and Netflix and any equivalent platform are also off the table. Now, before you click away, because you don't want to give any of those up, and come on, who really does want to do that? I'm gonna tell you that you don't have to. Your break can be something involving your phone or your laptop, but it cannot be your go-to break activity. You have to get up and get moving. In my case, I love soccer, so I chose to do activities related to soccer. I mean, just look at this picture right here. I spent years wearing these goggles. I loved it that much. In my backyard, I have a rebounder where I can just go outside and distract myself throughout the day. Now, my phone or a simple walk to stretch around the house are my go-to activities for my 5 to 7 minute break. For my 30-minute breaks, I will almost always go out and just kick a ball around. I consider the 30-minute breaks to be the most important ones in my system. These breaks allow me to forget about the projects I'm working on and about my work for half an hour. This system has been extremely effective for me because the mental breaks that I get during those lapses allow me to come back refreshed and energized. It's the main thing that keeps me from mentally breaking down with all the work. Now, some clarifications. The 30-minute activity that you do is up to you. Taking a walk, bike, or run down a local trail is a great choice. But the activity has to get you moving and get your mind off of work. Now, I know that a lot of you watching my videos are likely very academically oriented. You want good grades and you'll go to extreme measures to achieve that, like not getting very much sleep or not eating well. But the number one thing that I learned throughout my last 4 years of high school is that your grades, your achievements, and all of this won't matter if you aren't taking care of yourself mentally. Taking breaks and treating yourself well is the best thing that you can do to propel yourself forward. That being said, there is likely still one question that you are asking yourself. Alex, how do you find the time to have these 30-minute breaks, these 5 to 7 minute breaks in your schedule while still getting all of your work and responsibilities taken care of? The answer is monotasking. Let me explain. There is a book that I have been recently reading called The 4-Hour Workweek, and there is a section that's dedicated to efficiency. The author Tim Ferriss explains that multitasking is in fact not your best friend. While you may think you can get a lot of work done while multitasking, it is not an efficient way. Let's do a mental experiment. If you were to write a long essay for English class, it might take you between 10 to 15 minutes to figure out where you left off and what you need to continue working on. In other words, there is a load time that your brain needs to be able to switch from one task to another. If after English you need to do math homework, there is a load time involved from switching your mind from thinking about English to thinking about math. Switching back and forth between many activities would consume too much time, and it would defeat the purpose of not mentally overloading yourself. In other words, the most efficient way to get something done is committing to one task at a time. If I need to finish reading section 5.2 from my math textbook, I read and take notes in one session. After the session, I'll take a break, and then I'll switch to another task to avoid mentally overloading myself. Finishing a task in one session is great because I don't have to spend load time on it again, and it opens up time for me to get other work completed. These breaks are my friend, and they help me stay as close to 100% as possible throughout the day. The one time when I don't power through a project or task is when it's too hard to complete in one sitting or in a day, like a long essay or a semester-long project. In that case, I set a defined amount of time that I'll work on it, like an hour, and then I'll take a break after I'm done. By monotasking, I'm able to complete something that might take about an hour and a half to complete scattered throughout the day, and complete it in 30 to 40 minutes. And by monotasking on task after task, eventually the time for taking relaxed and chilled breaks opens up. Now to recap, the system I use involves various short breaks. Combined with monotasking, I'm able to get a lot done during the day without going completely crazy. Ironically, all the time I spend on my breaks helps me get all of my work done on time because I feel mentally refreshed. It saves me enough time that I get to enjoy YouTube, TikTok, a little bit of soccer, and my meals every day. Additionally, I sleep 8 hours every night, so I'm definitely not sleep depriving myself like I did my sophomore year. I hope my advice was useful and that you can utilize it in some way. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing and dropping a like down below. And until next time, adios.